In case you guys don't know me, my name's Robert Redmond. You've got to excuse me. My voice is a little bit raspy. I'm getting married in about 9 days, which means like this whole week has been like, it's like finals week before school, where it's like everything's about to be done and you gotta stay up late and meet with people and finalize all the details. But it's like graduation day is coming and graduation day is really fun. You know what I mean? And so, despite the raspiness of my voice, I've got some good stuff I want to share with you guys, especially some of you guys that are new to the program. And I want to jump. Oh yeah, kissing disease. Jordan, dude, you gotta get out of here, man. I'm sorry. Someone please remove him. That's too embarrassing. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. And what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about hiring, but what we're really going to be talking about is building your dream team. So, like, why are we talking about this? Well, we're talking about this because I work with, we work with a ton of contractors, and something that we consistently hear from pretty much everybody. Whoa. Something we hear from pretty much everybody is like, hey, I need help. Hang on real quickly here. Okay, there we go. I need help finding good people. Robert, you just can't find good people. Anyone experience that here? Anyone? Jordan, I'm going to pick on you real quick because you kind of picked on me. What?
Yes, we have.
So you have Fernando, good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you too.
You have like 2 or 3 trucks running, right, Jordan?
Mm-hmm.
What has your experience been like trying to find good, reliable people?
It's always hard. So I've kind of played the patient approach, and try to not miss out on opportunities with good people. So like the people I do have, I absolutely love. But in my experience, it has been very difficult to find really good people.
Yeah. So it is for most people. And there's reasons for that we're going to get into. But I want to try to help you and everyone else on this group call here today find maybe a better method that vets out and finds people quickly. Because I think every single member of our team, I think it took us a month or less to find right now. And it's really because we follow the same process here. So let's get into it. So building your dream team. So anyone recognize who these guys are? Come on. Everyone in this call should recognize who these guys are, right? The 1992 Dream Team. I was born in 1991 and I still know who these guys are. Right. That makes me 32 years old, by the way, in case anyone wanted to do the math. This team is often described as the best sports team ever assembled. They completely dominated the 1992 Olympics, and the team was assembled. Look at little Muggsy. The team was assembled after we first lost to, at the time, the USSR, we know as Russia today. And we had to settle for bronze that year. It was like our worst finish. And so then the next Olympics, they got together Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Charles Barkley, and 6 other Hall of Fame players, right? Dream team. Do something great. It describes a team. Hiring can easily be placed on the back burner with everything that we have going on as business owners. We have customers, we've got employees, we've got a million burning fires, things to do every day, right? After I get all that done, I'll see who applied, right? Oh, I haven't been able to check for a few days. Let's see who applied. Oh, let me get back to them. I reply back. 2 days later, they reply back. And it ends up taking this like super long process. We set up an interview, block out our time. They don't show up to the interview, right? or they show up and it's like they're super late and it's like not ideal. It's like you immediately know when you first see this person, this is a waste of my time. To solve the problem of having to do everything in your business, to solve the problem of feeling like I always got to be in the truck, I don't control my time, I'm always subservient to the next call, the next customer, the next appointment, all this stuff, you've got to figure out how to build a team, right? I told you guys I'm getting married. I'm about to go to Thailand for 2 weeks for my honeymoon, right? We're going to be bouncing around different islands in Thailand. And our business is going to stay running while I'm gone. And I'm telling my team, like, I'm out. Like, I am not checking email. Like, how do you do it? You do it by building your team. Building your business is building your team. This is something that is like a quote I came up with. I think it's kind of good. Not really, but investing in hiring is investing in your business. We a lot of times think ad spend is investing in our business. We a lot of times think, like buying new trucks, buying new tools, right? Like these are investments in our business. View hiring as the greatest investment in your business, because it is only through hiring and making that a priority, not something on the back burner, not something we get to at the end of the day, but making it a priority that gives you the freedom that everyone's really seeking. So here's our team right here, right? We took pictures a few months ago, and yeah, I'm a punk rocker too, Jordan, just to let you know. There I am. There's evidence of it. Okay. So I want to talk about what we call like the Redmond growth hiring system. There's two main objectives to the system. Okay. Objective number one, we want to save business owners time, right? A lot of times it takes a long time to hire someone because of the way we're managing the process. We're looking at every resume. We're looking at every applicant. We're reaching out to every person individually, right? And we may not be able to do that every day. So it becomes something we get to, or becomes something we kind of half-ass, It's like, okay, I got 10 applicants. Let's look at 2 of them. I'll reach out to this one. It's like 8 other applicants there, right? But you're busy. So we get that. So we need a system that saves time, right? So we're not wasting our time with the candidates that aren't going to be a fit anyway. And the next objective is we need to hire people quickly. A lot of times in a construction or in a service business, like a hiring need happens pretty fast. It can happen pretty fast. So we scale up some marketing, things are going, we got more calls coming in. Oh my gosh, we got to hire someone quickly. That's the second objective. We want to save you time and we want to get people quickly. Want to review some stats. The reason why I want to review these stats is because like the way the system works, a lot of people sometimes are like, I don't know if I'm all about this. I don't know if I want to implement this, whatever. And there's a number of studies that have been done to show you the importance of having a process that vets through people quickly, right? Before I even show you the stats, what do you guys think of like the current labor pool? Like, can I hear it? Like if you were to think about the current labor pool in general, does someone want to be brave enough to hop on the mic here and describe it? Like in your process in hiring, what has your experience been like? Just, it could be anything, honest answer. You're looking at American candidates. Brandon, I see you. It looks like you're unmuting your mic. Let's go. I know he wants to say something. There he goes. I saw it.
I'm thankful that everyone else has the same issue that I do, and they hire a bunch of crappy employees because it creates a better opportunity for my good guys. So we don't need to have nearly as many good guys to balance that out.
So your opinion,
that's the American labor pool.
Yes. Okay. Totally agree. And he's right. Without even knowing the stats I'm about to go over, he's right. And what I heard Brandon say is that most of the people are pretty crappy, but I have a few good ones, right? So let's see what this actually looks like. So first thing is this. As of May 2022, right? These studies take some time. So as a, say about 2 years old, There were 434,000 job openings in the construction industry, and there was only 389,000 construction employees that were unemployed. So what does that mean? There's still about like 50,000 jobs that we don't have people for, right? So we know that. That's the first thing. There's a labor shortage, especially for tradesmen, right? So there's a labor shortage. What's the next stat? 68%, according to staffingindustry.com, 68% of trade skilled business owners struggle to hire skilled workers and 35% are understaffed. So Brandon, you're right. The majority of people do have your problem. And we know that, right? Not just from this group call. And then we look at some more studies. Gallup says 66% of the U.S. workforce, this says, is engaged in their job. It's supposed to say only 33% of the workforce is engaged in their job. 66% of their workforce, if you look at the study here, 33% of the workforce is engaged, 66% is not engaged. What does that mean? It means 66% of the US labor market shows up to a job looking for something else to do besides their job. Right? Has anyone experienced that? Like, guys, doesn't seem like they want to work, right? Other studies show that most people want to steal from the workplace. Other studies show that, according to Harvard Business Review, 81% of candidates lie in interviews, telling an average of 2.19 lies a minute. Other studies show that over 70% of job applicants lie on their resumes. So what does that mean? That means that when we're hiring, most of the people that we're going to run into aren't going to be engaged. They're going to lie. They're going to steal from us, right? We can't trust them. And what do? You got to have a system. That's the whole point to the way Redmond Growth works with construction owners. The way that we approach everything, every single aspect of your business is, do you have a system for it? What does that mean? Oh yeah, I've got a system. I mean, I've got a system in my head. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying, do you have a documented process that you follow that even if you were out of the business, other people could follow that process? So let's get into it, right? There's two kind of approaches to this system. There's the approach that you take whenever you're wanting to hire a higher skilled person. So that's going to be a journeyman. That's going to be, like maybe a foreman, maybe a higher skilled carpenter, right? We've got an approach that we want to take for people with higher skill. Then we want to have a different approach for apprentices, laborers, more general skills, right? The name of the game to the higher skill approach is going to be responding quickly. The name of the game to the general skill approach is to vet out people quickly, right? Two different approaches. Our approaches change based upon who we're hiring. Are we hiring someone that's hard to find? Or are we hiring someone that I don't really need a super specialized skill set? I may need 1 to 3 years of experience. Higher skilled people, what does that mean? Specific degrees in training, tradespeople, right? Over 5 years of experience. General skill could be office admins. It could be customer service reps. It could be apprentices. It could be, daily laborers. It could be like different kind of salespeople, right? So let's get into the system. Step number 1, we've got to create a unique and compelling job post. Oh, Robert, I've got a job post. I got that one checked. Great. If you read that job post, right, and you were to take your head out of the head of yourself, a business owner, and you're to put your head in the head of a candidate who's looking for a place to work, a construction guy, a plumber, electrician, whatever. Does that job post make you on the inside feel that's a place I'd want to work? That's cool. That's a rubric, right? Does your job post actually inspire? I'm going to tell you guys a secret. your candidates are reading your job posts and they're making judgment calls based upon your business, based upon the job post. And if candidates don't read your job post, they're probably not someone you want to hire anyway. The good candidates that you want to hire are reading your job post, and they're not applying at a place that isn't exciting or inspiring or anything like that, right? We've got a whole training on this. We've got a whole video. Your coach can help you find that video. It's literally a 30-minute video that I recorded about how to make a compelling job post. Real quick, Trevor, do you have a question? Or is that an accident? Okay, I'm gonna move on here. So yeah, doesn't sound like a place you want to work. That's step one. Step two is this: post jobs on Indeed, right? Does Indeed work? Yes. That's the only place you need to post a job, right? So that's the second step. Use Indeed. We've got a whole nother training on this, on like how to use Indeed, how to maximize Indeed. If you're assigned a dedicated coach, they can also do a lot of this stuff for you, right? I cannot tell you how many times I've heard construction and service business owners say that Indeed doesn't work, only to tell me 2 weeks later that they've hired someone from Indeed. I'm serious. We've all heard it so many times. So use Indeed. Number two, when an applicant applies, drop everything to reach them, right? Here we're talking about the high skill positions. Why is that important? Well, think about it like this. Your customer is not as important as a guy who, if he's hired, can bring in an additional $25,000 to $35,000 of revenue to your business a month. Replying to that applicant for higher skill positions that's actually qualified, I'm going to say something controversial, is actually more important than the next customer or the next issue. Because even if you lost that customer forever, hiring that guy can bring $500,000 a year to your business, and that customer can never do that. Right now, and if you're talking about, like a big job, a big opportunity, over $1 million, like, use discretion here, right? Don't be stupid with it. But we're changing the lens of how we see hiring. It becomes a priority, okay? Next thing, you want to schedule the applicant for a one-on-one interview. And then after the one-on-one interview, you want to schedule like a shadow day. Do you guys know what I'm talking about when I say shadow day?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Fernando.
Fernando, tell us, what's a shadow day?
I was just kidding. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Yes, you do. You've done shadow. Tell them what a shadow day is. I know you know this.
It's pretty much where they literally just shadow you. They're just right there. I know I did them for one company, and you just ride along with them, see how they do it. See how they do it, and they can even show what the work that they know too, kind of build that relationship. And if you guys are a good fit, then welcome to the team. And then if not, everyone goes their both ways.
Boom.
Yes. I was really hoping to see. I was looking at who was all on the call right now, because Dale Eads with Arnold's Plumbing is one of my favorite examples of why the shadow is so important. And why it's so important is because in a 30-minute, hour-long one-on-one interview, it's pretty easy for somebody to put their best self forward. You don't always get the best impression of who this person really is. Dale called me one day so excited about this plumber that applied. He did the phone interview with him. He's got all the experience, so excited. Schedules him for a shadow. They get into the van together. They're spending a couple hours going to job. And Dale goes, and then all of a sudden we're driving to the next job. I'm talking to this guy and he just stops responding. He's like, I'm driving. I look over. The guy had fallen asleep in the truck going to a job. And Dale had to literally wake him up. And the guy goes, oh yeah, I'm sorry. That happens sometimes. And Dale was like, Nicole, I would have hired this guy on paper from the first interview. I would have hired this guy and he would have been falling asleep in my truck. The shadow is so important because you really get to know somebody. Is this a weirdo? Is this somebody who I'd want to spend time with? Is this somebody who I want to add to my team, bring around my guys, put in front of my customers? The shadow is really when you get to know if somebody's full of crap or not, if they actually know what they're talking about.
Yeah, and the way that you pitch that is really simple. So you find a guy, right? He looks good on paper. You respond to him quickly. Talk to him on the phone, meet with him one-on-one, talk to him for 30 minutes, see if you like him. From there, you just say, hey, a lot of people ask me what a day in the life is like. Hey, what's a day in the life of your business? So here's how we manage things is I want you to like hang out with us for 2-4 hours, whatever. Ride with me, ride with one of my guys, see if you like it, see our process. We're going to know really quickly if you're going to like working with us and we're going to like working with you. We're going to save a lot of time, get exposure to our business. We want to invite you to do a shadow day, right? That's what you're doing. So again, we're a higher skill position. What are we doing? We're posting an inspiring job post. We're posting that on Indeed. When a good applicant applies, we're dropping everything. And again, we can help manage your Indeed to make sure that when that happens. Then you're reaching out just to schedule a one-on-one interview of some kind, get face-to-face with them as soon as you can. Hey, can you meet tonight? Could you meet tomorrow? These guys are going to be taken up quick by your competitor if you don't act. That's why the whole name of the game is act quickly, right? Then you do, hey, let's shadow. Can you shadow later this week, ride with one of my guys? After that, that's when you go into the resumes and the reference checks and the background checks, and then you offer someone a job. Real quick process. Make it a priority. Post a job on Indeed. You'll probably need to sponsor it, but again, it's worth it. Don't be cheap about your hiring. Again, bringing a guy in, if you like bring an HVAC guy into an HVAC business, like that guy can bring, 400,000, 500,000 or plus a year into your business. If he's good, of course, this is a priority, right? Drop everything mindset. Okay. The way that we recommend approaching the, yeah, looks like we duplicated this. Okay. Yeah. This says high skill position. This is the way that we approach the, kind of more general position. Jordan, I'll answer that question just a minute. Same thing in the beginning, create a unique, compelling job post jobs on Indeed. What we recommend doing is a group interview. We recommend just telling everyone, because again, remember those stats. This is why we do it. We got to vet people out quickly. Most of the people are going to be crap. Anyone who applies, say, hey, I'm holding a group interview this day, this time, this location. Can you be there? Everyone will say yes. You build or people will say yes. Most people won't reply. You build a roster. The way you manage it is that you check Indeed at the beginning and end of the day. The day of the interview, you send email confirmation. You text the candidates to make sure that they're there. Then you hold a group interview, right? After the group interview, you invite candidates that stand out to shadow. This is how we've hired our entire team, except for Travis, who we knew from a referral.
And Jordan, I see your comment here, and it came in very timely because I feel like as soon as we talk about group interviews, that's the first question that people ask is, Nicole, I work from home. I don't have an office. I don't have a warehouse. What do I do? And you can literally have a group interview just about anywhere. I've had a client do it at a Denny's, at a Starbucks. A lot of times warehouses or supply houses will have a little conference room. And if you have a good relationship, they'll let you use it. You don't need to go book out a conference room at a hotel. If you want to, great. You don't have to. Any public place, you just invite, whoever applies to come. And if they show up, they show up. If not, no big deal. You're not wasting any time that way. So just don't be shy. You can do a group interview just about anywhere.
Yeah, I had a client do it in a parking lot of a come and go. So literally he did that for weeks and people showed up. It doesn't matter. It's we have these ideas in our head about how this needs to work that just are totally untrue. You can literally do this anywhere. I wouldn't recommend doing it at your house. So maybe not anywhere actually. Don't do it at your house if you work from home. I've had people rent out a conference room at a hotel. I've had people do it at like a Panera Bread, a Starbucks. Like, doesn't matter. Like, grab a breakfast, go to Denny's, for a one-on-one. Yeah, a bank has a conference room, perfect. I don't know if I'd invite a bunch of apprentices to a conference room if you're doing a group interview, but you can literally do them anywhere, right? And I'm talking about the group interview, Jordan. I don't know if I'd like have a bunch of just random people coming into my bank, for a group interview. So here's what I want to do. I want to move into breakout rooms here, and I want to kind of, I think a more valuable use of our time is just our coaches meeting with you guys one-on-one. And is this anything hiring related today? So yeah, we've got some questions to ask you guys, but we want to bring more clarity to what we discuss, and any other questions or issues or concerns that you guys have about the hiring process are welcomed in this breakout room time. So we're going to go ahead and break up. And yeah, if you don't want to stay for breakout rooms, sayonara. But the rest of you, we're going to put you with a coach, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this hiring stuff.
Should have something popping up here to split you up. It looks like there's just a few of us left. Do we just want to have this time in here?
I think we would just have one person per coach almost. So
yeah, so let's just talk. What questions do you guys have about this process or about just interviews in general?
Fernando, I see your hand. Fire away.
Yeah. So one thing that we have, I guess I'm glad we're talking about hiring, because we've always hired friends and family. And it's
those family businesses,
Yeah.
we
had to let two of our good friends. Luckily, we're still on good terms. But we had to let go of two friends, or one friend, one cousin, and then we pretty much let go of another one. He's like a little brother to me, but he just, he wanted to sit in the truck and not go to work, and then still expected to get paid. But how do you find the balance of, is it even worth hiring them, or
so
do
I'm in
you
business.
Drop down the standard for them?
No. So the answer to that question is a flat no. Like, if anything, you elevate the standards for them, right? Like, never drop down your standards for them. You're dropping down your standards for your business. You're dropping down your standards for your customers, right? So never drop your standard for anyone. Like, this isn't a charity. This is a for-profit business, right? Okay. And I believe in loyalty, right? I own a business with my dad. Well, two businesses. And I own another remodeling company with one of my best friends. I've had a lot of opportunities to go into business, and I've had a lot of friends that have asked to work with me. And I've said no to all of them, except for being in business with my dad and being in business with my friend. Because it will go south almost every time, unless from the very beginning, there's a real strong sense of shared goals. There is a sense of like shared character and values, right? So that when shit hits a fan and money's involved and emotions go high, right? When people mess up, you guys already know there's already a default mode to like managing those things, So yeah, the more direct answer I'd give you, Fernando, is like, do so cautiously. Like, here's my kind of like criteria to actually go into partnerships with people, or to like hire someone that's a friend or family member, right? Like I said earlier, I've got to have a shared vision and goal. Like, we have got to be on the same page about where we are going. Like, if you're already asking me, should I drop my standards if I'm hiring my family or friends? Like, that first piece is not there, which cancels the whole thing out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they don't have to, if you're hiring someone, they're not going to think like a business owner, but like, do they have the shared sense of like goals and drive that you would expect from an employee? If that's not there, it cancels out. The next thing is, can we put our business relationship and the continuity and longevity of that relationship over money? Right? When push comes to shove, am I going to say, are they the kind of person that will say, hey, I don't want to get into disagreement about this. Like, let's just come to the terms that you want and like move forward. Like, I believe that that's like a thing that a lot of people would reject, but I wholeheartedly believe that because it reflects a character about the other person. Like with my dad and I working with each other, like he owns more equity in the business than me, right? He's the majority owner of Redmond Growth, but he's also been like extremely generous with me, which means like I have in exchange taken on a lot. I mean, all the responsibility for the business, right? So there's just like shared, like looking out for each other. There's just like, it's not loyalty in terms of like, hey, I'll be there for you no matter what. It's like, no, I will like put you in front of me because like you have put me in front of you. And that's unique to mind, right? And then I think the third thing is just trust, dude. Like, do you trust this person in all realms? Can you trust them to like get the job done? Can you trust them to like follow your process? The reason why this doesn't work for people, and I'll end with seeing this, is there's this like concept with familiarity. A lot of times, the more familiar you are with someone, the less respect you have for them. This is kind of like just a universal human principle. The more familiar you see someone, like let's say your family and friends, like they've gone out with you for a night, like you've gone out celebrating something, partying, whatever, and like they've seen you in that environment, and then you show up to work. Like it's really hard for most people to show up to work that Monday with you as their boss, being able to like be like, oh man, I was with Fernando 3 nights. Like people can't separate that, even though you probably didn't do anything wrong. Like because they're more familiar with you, there isn't this mutual respect. Again, that can happen, but it's pretty rare. Most people, what happens? They get entitled, they get resentful, right? I'm working, he's not giving me enough attention. Like I should. That's what happens with most people. It's really hard. You've got to like have something. It's almost like a spiritual thing. Like you've got to have something deep within you that dictates the kind of person you are and how you handle situations that goes beyond money, right? That's the only way that you can really, that can go well. So it can work. It usually doesn't. Like, trust me, my dad and I, we have like gone at it with each other, like just real honest, vulnerable, like over the years. Like we have like gotten into yelling matches in conference rooms before, right?
Okay.
But we can both trust each other at the end of the day. I come to him and apologize, and he comes to me and apologizes, right? We own our stuff. So it's hard to find that, right? But if you can find that, it can work. It's hard to find that though. So that's what I tell you about hiring family and friends.
100%. I understand. Yeah, it's yeah, 100%. It kind of sucks because now it's to the point where it's like, hey, I think I feel like letting go of everyone and starting fresh is what I told my partner about.
So I also get that feeling a lot, right? Like that makes a lot of sense, but like just know that would be a really stupid move. And I'm not saying that you would do that. I'm not saying that you would do that, but you got to be careful not to let the emotions dictate a business decision that would actually cause you personally a lot more stress. Because if you did fire everyone and started fresh, like your life would suck for a while, and you don't need to do that. It would suck a lot more than having to deal with the difficult people that are currently on your team. So what do? You literally run this process we just went over, start running it now, and just one at a time, who's the most important person that you need to replace that would make the biggest impact on your business if you got someone sharp in there? Like, replace that person first and go on. Yeah, Brandon.
One thing I tell my guys that has helped is I'm either fighting to keep you or I'm fighting to replace you. So
That's
and
so
it's up
good.
to you. So it's my job to always be on the hunt for new clients and new employees. And if you're creating so much value that I can't help but pay you more, that's in your control. And if I'm fighting to replace you, that's also in your control. And it's a week by week sort of a thing.
That is
And
so
What was
good.
that? What was
I
that
just
saying
tell them, it's
again?
like, if I can leverage the business in any way to help you, buy you a truck so you can sell your truck, get you the tools, get you more money, whatever. If you're demanding that because you're that awesome, great. I'm fighting to keep you. I don't want you to go anywhere. And it's demanding I have to pay you more and more and more because you're creating more and more value. But as soon as that changes, it goes the other way. So just like you get to decide week to week if you want to work for me, I get to decide week to week if I'm fighting to keep you or fighting to replace you.
So yeah, that was the saying, Fernando.
Okay.
Yeah. Am I fighting to keep you or am I fighting to replace you? And what I love about that is if you're a business owner, you know that that's true. Like everyone on my team, all the people that are on this call right now, I'm fighting to keep them, right? Like I want to make sure that they're taken care of. Like Nicole has been with us for how many years now?
Almost 6.
She's been with us for 6 years. Like I really want to take care of Nicole, right? Because she's a person worth fighting for. Like Travis, Alyssa, all these people on this call are people worth fighting for. And you know that as a business owner, like you would give someone good more benefit, increase their pay, whatever, to keep them. You know how valuable that is. So that's a real line. And the other thing, what makes what Brandon said actually powerful, hey, on a week to week, you know, and someone eventually will establish their position in your company to where you don't need to tell them every week. Like if you're fighting to keep them, you don't need to remind them like, am I fighting to replace you? You know, like, but for those new guys, what makes replacing people really easy is if you're running a hiring process that doesn't take you a lot of time so that you actually could replace someone quickly, right? That's really hard to do if your hiring takes a long time. You become almost hostage to the people on your team. But if you have a pool of candidates, which a deeper part of our process is to actually make like a database of candidates that if something happened, you could like just go down the list, you know, of like, hey, if I'm going to be like an electrician in the Nashville area, for example, like it'd make a lot of sense to have a whole database of all the journeymen I've talked to over the years that are in Nashville, right? Because even if they weren't ready to be hired at the time, if a year goes by, I need to replace someone. If I have this database, I can just say, hey, I'm just wanting to check in with you. Like we've got an opening. Has anything changed in your situation? I've had clients hire people. Yes, something's changed, you know? So that's the other thing I think would be real key with what Brandon's saying is that you can't do that if you don't have a pool of candidates, if you don't have a process, if you can't hire. The other thing that Brandon said I really liked is that his main job as a business owner is to like find new customers and to find great people. Like that's correct. That is like the main job, right? There's some other stuff, you know, that goes with it too. But if you do those two things well, and if you were to make that as a business owner your number one priority, you would build a great business. And then you get Redmond Growth to help you build processes. That you'll build a great.
Your employees feel a lot less entitled too because they see you busting doing that, and that's a job they really don't want. So, if anybody says that your life looks too easy and they want your job, it's like, cool, here you go. Here's the 8 meetings I have this week with potential trade partners and employees. You want to take those?
Yeah,
we'll see how you do.
Even if you had 4 meetings, they're not going to be capable of it because it requires a totally different skill set and mentality. You know, like, yeah. Just every owner needs to be very comfortable, regardless about the number of hours they work. You took so much freaking risk to go do this thing. Like when you push comes to shove, like people aren't willing to do that. They're not willing to leave a job to say, okay, I got to figure out a way to make a brand and like find customers and like do all that stuff that everyone in here was willing to do. They want a job. They want a paycheck. Hey, which I'm not trying to talk bad about employees. I've got 3 of them on this call that work.
No, but it is tough to describe to them the value of risk, and how much, blood, sweat, and tears you put into that.
Yeah.
One thing I had started encouraging a lot of my guys to do was side work, and then I evaluate it with them when they come back. The last guy just did a job and he came back making $16 an hour off of his bid. And I was like, oh, sure. So does that pay for your truck and your uniforms and your tools and the shop and all the stuff we have? No? Okay. So we can teach you more if you want, or you can just go to work.
Yeah.
Whichever one you like.
Yeah. Yeah. Be careful with that. I trust Brandon to do that, but Brandon would probably need a whole nother, how he's able to manage that, like a whole nother session. Like, be careful with encouraging people to do side work. But
most of them start to understand the business side of it as the brutal side of the business, and they're very familiar with the work. They can do the work, but they just can't manage enough work to make that a business. And anybody who's trying to make a lot of money knows they have to spend a lot of money on employees and vehicles and all that stuff, and the enormous amount of risk that goes with it. And I'm pretty transparent with my guys about all of those things and their expectation of me to say, when I show up for work, I expect my truck to have gas in it and new uniforms and to have work to provide for my family, and I can go on vacation if I want. And I highlight all the employee expectations that they come to work with every day, and said, in return, I'd like you to just do your job. I'll provide all those things, but you need to do your thing at a high level. And when we hire new people, we highlight a lot of those things too, that this is the trade-off. You can expect all this entire list of things, and I just need you to uphold your end of the bargain, and we'll get along just fine.
Yeah, that's really good. Brandon, where are you based out of and what kind of business do you own?
Minneapolis, St. Paul area. And we have a construction company, but we transitioned to a handyman service that Travis has been helping us get off the ground.
Nice.
One of the reasons being hiring. HGTV has been training handymen for the last 10 years. And so my whole deal is that opens up the available labor pool that we can potentially hire from.
Yeah.
And
literally the entire country is qualified.
Yes.
How many years of HGTV watching do you have?
I zero. I stay away from
No, I mean, that's a question you could ask people.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you a Vikings fan?
Questions. What's that?
Are you a Vikings fan?
No.
Okay, thank God. I'm a big time.
I'm from the bright side of the river in Wisconsin.
Oh, are you a Packer fan?
You can't admit that you're not.
Can you tell that? Really. Can you tell that Robert is from his reaction? I feel like you know Robert is.
It's a religion here.
Team I actually really care about.
Yeah.
Okay, and Fernando, just to let everyone know, like who's kind of talking. Fernando was talking earlier. He owns an HVAC and plumbing business in Salt Lake City. Jordan, do you want to share who you are and where you're based out of?
Yeah, so we're out of the Nashville area, Tennessee, and I'm an electrical contractor. So we do residential and commercial servicing, and then residential install and custom builds as well.
Awesome. And then Kendall and Liz just joined our call. He commented, I assume that Kendall commented this, rat race.
That's correct.
I just met these guys, and I feel like I already know Kendall pretty well. It's early his time. It's not even 8 a.m. his time yet. Or wait,
we're in Austin for the
weekend. Right.
In my own apartment.
They're in Austin. So, do you guys want to just introduce yourselves, what you do, where you're based out of real quick?
Yeah. Sorry, the camera's not working. So
it's all good. You're good.
So my name is Liz. We are based out of San Diego, California, and we're a general contracting business. We have our Class B contractor's license, so any work in commercial or residential, but right now Our main scope is luxury remodels.
Cool.
And our background, Liz and I both got our degrees in construction management from a college in Northern California. Did the whole work for a big GC for many years, and then now we're doing this. So Liz started this up about 3 years ago. Basically, took over her or rekindled her father's company, I should say. So doing most of the work today, but we're looking forward to some bigger things and more work coming in the door.
Yeah, it's great to have you guys here. I know that there's some other people on the call, but I can't see all of them. Does anyone else have any other questions or hiring points or tips or anything that we went over today that needed clarification? I don't think so. I think we're good to go. Yeah. All righty, guys. Well, great to have everyone here today. Really good discussion. Thank you for everyone participating.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Robert. So these are at 9 a.m. Central Time. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I had it on the calendar for 10 for some reason. That's why we were so late. So.
And we're gonna fix that. We're gonna make sure that everyone has an invite to their calendar. With our CRM, we've had an issue with like adding a Google Meet to a mass event. So we're getting that solved right now. But it's for now every Thursday at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Mountain, 7 a.m. Pacific. And we always upload a recording of this call that you can find on the main dashboard of the contractor marketing machine software. So.
And you'll get an email typically on Mondays with the recording from the last week once we put them on YouTube. And then Kendall and Liz, on the top of our agenda, I've got all of our meetings, the times and the links to those meetings on there as well. So if you're ever wondering when something is, just jump on the agenda.
Awesome. Thanks for calling.
Of course.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we like to end these meetings like I used to end a football huddle. Which is I like to count down, and on 3, 2, 1 we all say growth. So if everyone can embrace the process, unmute your mic and count down 3, 2, 1. Growth! Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Everyone have a great rest of the Thursday. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, guys.
You.
We'll see ya.